welcome to 52%.
The show that explores everything and anything going on in Liverpool and beyond from the perspective of 52% of the population, which we now know are women.
I'm Jennifer Jewel.
And I'm Lisa Simmons.
Now this week we're talking about women in sport.
And of course, Liverpool is the city of sport, with two of the world's most famous football teams, the biggest horse racing event in the UK calendar, home to several Olympians, thousands of Scousers regularly taking part in a huge range of sports. So here's what's coming up in today's show.
We're joined in the studio now by Estelle Cartlidge from Bikram Yoga, Liverpool, and football agent Hayley O'Brien. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us today for the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me on your show anyway.
So you both work in sports in the city, and it's a fantastic city for sport, Liverpool, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yeah, no doubt about it. You know, and when you look at when it's derby days, it's amazing, the atmosphere, isn't it?
Of course, you know football inside out, so you'll know that. But this weekend, the big talking point was the Grand National, of course, which is massive for our city. Did you ladies watch it?
I did. I didn't win. Never do. But yeah. And it was a great day. The weather was great as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Estelle, what about you? You into the horse
I
racing?
think I was doing yoga while the national was on.
Do you just do yoga 24/7?
Well, as much as I can.
Now, how do you find this when you bet? Because I've not got a first clue about horse racing. So I think if I want to bet on horse racing, I just look for the one that's going to win me the most money. So I put £1 on the one that's like 100 to 1, and then I never win.
I don't know, wasting money, I'm going for win, and then if I put £5 each way, cover all my bases then. I think I learned it off my dad.
Okay.
But as a woman, I'm just too old-fashioned. I won't go into a betting shop. I still have to send a man. How ridiculous is that?
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
What about you girls? What do you do?
I have been in, but I do prefer if somebody else to put the bet on. But when I am picking the horses out, I just seem to go for the name, something that you can relate to.
With,
yeah. And but yeah, and I agree with you. I don't really particularly like going in, but sometimes it's if you want to bet on and you think. But as you've just said, I never win.
No.
I never won. I think my niece won on Saturday.
Nice.
But yeah, I always seem to go for a name, something that you can relate to or something like that, you know.
Is that such a female thing, do you think, Estelle, to kind of think, oh, that means something to me, I'm just going to go for that one?
I think so, yeah. But I do think men are like crossing over them barriers a little bit more and being a bit more intuitive as well.
Getting a bit more superstitious also. And what else was on this week? We had loads of sporting events. We had
the boat race.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Boat race, please.
Would you fancy getting involved in that?
Not with these little pigeon arms. But do you know what I found really interesting? For the first time, Claire Balding, who's synonymous with the races, chose to be with the boat race. And how fantastic is that?
She's very versatile, isn't she? She's, you know, when you look how far she's come with the horse racing as a female, I think as a presenter and a knowledge and everything. But as I say, I think she is very versatile as a presenter. And
she is. She's a great advocate for women in sport, isn't she?
She is. She's a great role model, and how she conducts herself, and she's so professional, but her knowledge, and she's very natural, I think, isn't she?
Yeah,
you know?
she is, yes, yeah. But it's great to see the women's boat race also doing
Well,
as well
that's
as the
what
men's.
she chose to commentate on, the women's boat race rather than Aintree. And it's not, I mean, her family, you know, they're known in Aintree.
Why do you think she's done that then? Why do you think she's gone, okay, no, I want to focus on the boat race this weekend?
Maybe a challenge. Maybe she's just thought it's something different, and it's obviously been an interest. It's something that's interested.
Now the female boat race has been elevated to be just as good as the men's boat race.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to something you do know quite a bit about is football. And the Women's World Cup has taken place this summer, and it's getting a really great reception so far, isn't it?
It is. Well, I was at Man City's academy the other week, and I was getting shown round, and I seen some of the women there, and I thought it's so advanced now, and the opportunities for women in football we've come so far, really, hasn't it, Jenny? It really has come far.
Estelle, are you interested in football at all?
No, it's because obviously, you know, when you're from Liverpool, I think you're sort of forced into either being a red or a blue.
So come on, which are you?
I'm a blue, my family
Hence the
blue,
dress.
my
Oh,
dad,
that's
my
okay.
partner,
We're
I'm a
blues.
blue, yeah. And my little boy, it's funny because he's 6 and up until about 6 months ago didn't really show that much of an interest in football. And now I can just see it, like he's going to like because he's been off for Easter. He can't wait to get up and go to his football camp, and it's not because I didn't think he was going to be, but I think it's like
you
just gravitate towards it. Being a Liverpool lad, I think it's just football.
It is, because it's brilliant. Because obviously you're not into football particularly. I gather he's not been raised that way, but he's not got the instinct obviously to want to do it.
Yeah, it's from my dad and like his dad and stuff. But like I'm just always making sure he's stretching after it, and like stretch them hamstrings out, because I get so many footballers who will come and the first thing they mention is the hamstrings, because obviously they run so much too and with behind the football, but then, you know, don't stretch off.
Do you find you just like look for that straight away?
Yeah, I think I'm quite bad with sport, because I look at the elements of it that can actually, you know, not damage the body, but have wear and tear on the body. And that's why I believe that all forms of yoga are good to support. Like I've got a lot of people who come who do running, and they'll just do the yoga, not necessarily because they it's their favourite thing to do, but they know that it can lengthen the running career.
Do you speak to you?
It is, yeah. The yoga.
Yeah.
But do you speak to your clients and make them aware of the benefits?
Definitely. And all the academies now, yoga is a big part of their schedule.
Yeah.
So when you think back years ago, you know, men would have thought yoga, but now they're open to it. They know, as what you've just said, Estelle, regarding the stretching and everything. And I even say to some of our clients, you know, obviously you're practicing it, you know, in your work time, but even out of work, if you can go home and do your actual, you know, extra stretching and things like that. But I think yoga's fantastic. I really do.
Do you think a celebrity endorsement helps yoga? Because once a celeb attaches himself to any sport, but yoga's so current, do you think that helps elevate the sport itself?
I think it does. I think it maybe would attract somebody to try it. But I think to actually stay and do something, I think it's always yourself.
Do you find men are a bit scared to jump in and try yoga more than a woman is?
Well, from my personal experience, I mean, I practiced yoga for years, and up until I described Bikram to Michael, who's my partner, he wouldn't try yoga because he found it, that's just something girls do. Because Bikram's challenging, it's in a hot room, he was like, right, I need to try this. And men love it. So I think Bikram in a way has crossed a lot of barriers for yoga, because men still feel like they're getting that workout. But then I've got guys at the studio who now will try different types of yoga. They'll do Shivananda, they'll do Hatha, they'll do aerial, which they never would have done before.
It's always been seen as well as quite hippie, isn't it? And whoa, and not cool. And it was always, you know, hard, high impact, feel the burn, all that. Now everyone's getting more in touch with themselves, with the universe, chilling out a bit more.
Amazing,
you've got to find peace and calm in your life. And the synergy between that and yoga is obviously, that's what's working together, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's increasing, you know, it's increasing people's happiness, but it's increasing people's performance as well, because obviously if you're happy, you're going to do better at what you do, whether it be football or whether it be, you know, a presenter.
Well, that's yoga. So what about rugby, women's rugby? Some women argue that it should have a higher profile. With the recent controversy over the coverage of the women's games in the Six Nations, there's some that argue it definitely should.
Gael caught the University of Liverpool's women's rugby team at one of their training sessions to get their thoughts on why we should watch women in rugby.
I'm here with Emily Cross, who's part of the Women's Rugby League of the University of Liverpool. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Can you tell us, how long have you been in the team?
I've been in the team for the past 3 years now, and the team's been going for about 10 years. So over the 10 years, we see the team go from being in a league to not going into a league, and we're hopefully trying to get the league back going now. Well, I grew up in a rugby league town, so it's been something that's been there since birth, really. So when I came to university, it seemed to be the natural process to go and play for the Women's Rugby League team. Well, it's a great way to stay in shape and to also make friends, and the team itself is actually fantastic, so it's great playing alongside the girls.
There are some kind of stereotypes about being a woman and playing rugby, aren't they? I mean, it's not very much a feminine sport.
Yeah, I can see why people would say that, but we're a very diverse team, so we've got girls from all over the world, we've got girls of all sexualities, of all, just everything you can think of. We've got girls from different backgrounds, so it's fantastic when everyone comes together and we all play as one team.
Women rugby is not much covered by the media.
It's quite a shame really, because obviously the male counterparts, their sport is actually, it's every week on Sky TV, so so the Women's Amateur Rugby League Association, they don't actually get covered, and also in all the like the papers and the magazines, they're always getting things wrong, so it's kind of a shame for them, because they put just as much hard work in as the men.
I'm now with Fiona Chong, who's the treasurer of the Women's Rugby League team. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks.
So can you tell us, why did you decide to play rugby in the first place?
Well, I started playing rugby union when I was in school, and in the south it was pretty much the only option that you can do. And it was until that I came to uni last year that I realised rugby league was a thing. And then I joined it, and I thought, you know what, this is actually great, because it's slightly different, and you get to run around more, and there's just a little bit more interaction with all the positions in the team of players.
Do you think there's a big difference between women's rugby and men rugby?
There's quite a difference, because women's rugby, like you said, is regarded as less feminine and girls are not very attractive. But then that's not what sport is about. And our team is trying really hard to promote rugby league in the university level, because right now we don't actually have a university league, and we are working really closely with the RFL, the Rugby Football League, to try and set a university team league up, which was there a few years ago, but then it's gone because a lot of university decided to merge it with rugby union to cut funding and all that. But yeah, we're working hard to get it up again.
How can we get more women into this sport then?
There's an association called the Women's Amateur Rugby League Association, which is set up for the amateur clubs to all play together. If anyone's interested in playing in their local club, then they could definitely look it up from that association, and it's all over Facebook.
Well, thank you very much for that, and good luck with this.
Yeah,
thank you.
Welcome back. Before the break, we joined Gael over at the training session with Liverpool University women's rugby team. I don't know. I really don't know.
So if it's something you would do?
Do you know what? I'd give it a go. But I think, as much as I like a bit of cardio, it's a bit violent.
What do you ladies think, women's rugby?
Very, very physical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mentally, and I don't think it'd be for me, to be honest. I don't. Even though I admire these women, and I think, gosh, you know, they must be so strong mentally and physically.
That's the thing, actually. It's quite frightening, I suppose, going to a rugby match now and someone's about to, any second, just come and completely class you. Would you enjoy that?
I've got to be honest, I've got a little boy and a little girl. I wouldn't like either of them. No, I wouldn't want either of them to do it.
It's bizarre you say that. My little girl, 9 years of age, has just started tag rugby.
Really?
Okay.
I've heard it's very popular with the young ones, though. I have heard. One of my friends, her little girl, she come home from school and said, and good luck to it. But as I say,
do they have head guards, and how does it work? Is it non-contact?
Well, she's 9.
tag rugby?
She's so it's primary school, junior school. Sorry, Olivia. And they have something in the back pocket, so they don't. They're not like, you know, doing all that.
They're not pushing each other down.
They pull like a rope or something.
But maybe as we've got older, we've kind of got a bit too. You get a bit too scared to go and do it. Maybe if you do throw them in as kids. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Maybe you do.
There's no fear then, is there, at that age as much? You know. So as you say, and it's obviously it's physically it's good for them. You know, it's keeping them fit.
I mean, that didn't look much different to the men's.
No,
it's not, is it? Why would it be?
But what about, you know? So if you're young in your 20s and you're playing rugby, and then you get a really bad injury because you've been in a scrum, and then you can't have babies? Or...
It's not going to be that. Surely it's not that bad, though.
I don't know. We'd never know, because men can't have babies.
Yeah.
But, you know,
but I'm sure
men
there's
haven't
rules.
got
It's not going to be... I know we say it's violent. I don't think it's violent as such. I think it's more just...
very physical, isn't it?
It's very
really
physical, exactly.
Yeah,
it's contact. The point is you're going in... But you're trained on how to do it, surely. So maybe that. Maybe
we just need a bit more education on it. I don't know, because it's, for me, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not gravitating towards it, but not for females shouldn't do it. I just think for males and females, it looks, for me personally, I wouldn't like to do it.
Isn't it great though?
But it's better than sitting on the couch and
Exactly,
doing
yeah, the moving. But I just think it's fantastic that no matter what gender you are and what you're into, the fact that you can do it.
The opportunities
the opportunities there. It's like that, what's that advert, Jen? The one where they say you can.
This girl can.
Yes,
exactly.
That one. I mean, that I think has broken down so many barriers that maybe that's why, you know, the women's rugby is getting so much press now. And, you know, they did a calendar shoot.
Okay, fabulous.
Little sort of calendar shoot, girls. So, you know, we still know they're all women, very feminine.
Well, yeah, exactly. They can be a little bit masculine, not even masculine, just a bit rougher, and then they can still go back to being feminine. But do you think women tend to approach sports a bit differently than men? I find. I think men like something that's very competitive and something they can win at, and something that. Whereas I think women do exercise, especially when you get older, more just for the exercise of it and the fitness side.
Yeah, definitely. Men are a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
And I say women do it more for the health side of things, don't they? And to feel good and to look good and to look after the body.
Dressage,
yeah.
I mean, why do you find people are visiting your yoga classes? Is it men? Is it women? Is it for the dress size? What are they getting from you?
There's a whole range of reasons. You know, a lot of people come because they've had depression. A lot of people come because they've gone overweight. Because they want to get a little bit, they feel like they've gone tighter because they're in office jobs. There's a wide range. One particular student who came to me, she put on like 2 dress sizes. She came and she was all covered up in her leggings and literally wasn't a jumper but like a long sleeve top, and now she wears like little onesie shorts on top, and you know when you see it, and I'm just like, gives confidence, and that's, you know, that's what I think for women. It's not about, I don't even think it's vanity, it's about them finding some self-love for themselves, and I think that's for women. I think that especially when they have kids, and especially like, you know, they wanna learn to like love themselves,
give themselves a boost,
definitely.
I think of going to yoga to lose weight. Can I just comment on how Estelle's sitting? I mean, look how relaxed she is.
She looks so chilled.
I was just thinking that, she's so chilled. But do you think maybe that's what puts some men going off to yoga? I don't know how your ratio is of women to men, but yoga's not about competing in the slightest, is it? It's not about being better than the person next to you or stretching more than them. It's about finding finding your best.
Some people, if that helps them, I suppose, for inspiration, is to compete with themselves. But I think it's always about evolving and being the best you can be, rather than looking at the person next to you and thinking, I can be better than them, because we're all, you know, individuals and gorgeous in that way as well.
Absolutely.
But men...
Talking of gorgeous. What about this pole dark malarkey?
Oh yeah, we watch trending. I've got to talk about what's trending. We do this every week, ladies. We talk about what's been trending, mainly on Twitter, but all on the social media. And go on, who do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't really watch pole dark, but I have seen the pictures of this delightful young man. I mean, what do we think? Do we like it when men are objectified?
Aidan Turner. Well, he is, isn't he? He's there every week, pretty much naked.
Does it go
very little clothes on.
Do you know him?
Oh, you've got to look him up. He's fantastic. He's pole dark's like, it's like a.
No, I don't think I've seen.
Have you not seen it?
I'm not the
it's
only one.
great.
I've
There you go. I've seen it. I'll have to talk all about this then, won't I? I've seen pole dark. It's fantastic. Yeah, so it's set like back hundreds of years ago, and he's like he's gone away somewhere. He come back, and now he's the girl he was in love with. They thought he died. He went to war, and now. He's like this object that everyone's adore. Well, I don't. He looks great.
So we're objectifying him now. What would it be if it was a woman?
Well, that kind of happens most of the time anyway, doesn't it? To be honest.
Of course it does. It does.
Women are so used to being objectified in the media, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
would you agree?
Definitely.
Well, have we all just seen the Madonna and Drake?
Oh wow.
Schmooze.
I've heard about it.
I've seen a picture.
What about if that had been Drake doing that to Taylor Swift? What would the difference have been? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all right from so basically it's a sexual assault, or is it?
Well, to be fair, you kind of expect it from Madonna, don't you? I don't think it's even shocking.
And I think the public, as you say, they've seen, they're not probably shocked by it, are they? Because it's her, obviously.
Well, she's done the same thing with Britney Spears a few years back, didn't she? And that was kind of seen as
what
fun.
gender you are, she'll stick her tongue down your throat.
I mean, but you have to wonder, are these things planned? Like, did you really
because this
know?
reaction, it wasn't what you'd want, is it? If I was going to do that to a bloke and he was sat there going, I'd be devastated. You'd like to think she doesn't care.
I think she came across really good on the Jonathan Ross show. I seen her on that, and I thought she looked fab, and I thought she really come across as Yeah, she come across.
You've got to remember, she's like the ultimate entertainer, isn't she? She knows how to make headlines. She knows what's going to gain interest in the media, and she's so good at that. That's what it is.
Is she someone that you'd want your daughter to aspire to be like, though?
Well, she's pretty much a nan, isn't she? Never mind a daughter. I don't think any 10-year-old child's going to be looking up to Madonna.
I don't know.
Maybe we will. We'll look up to Madonna and say, when I'm 50, that's what I want to be like. But I'm not sure she's really...
That's knocking on my door.
But I think it's amazing that she's still around. You know, she's been around for so long, hasn't she? And she's, you know, she's still a big hit.
I mean, and she does yoga, she does the
Ashtanga.
I mean, what a body. And go back before about the women's rowing, sorry. I remember Claire Bolden was talking about the weight of them. Does it matter? Does weight, I don't own scales, that's something I learned a long time ago. So you've got these women rowers who weigh 11,
the average was 11 stone 6
something
was the average of the ladies in
Does that number
race.
matter? Does it matter? Or is it just about them being fit and healthy and able to row?
Well, they're obviously extremely fit,
I definitely think about being fit and healthy and being happy with you, and it doesn't matter what, you know, what you weigh. It's how the individual feels, isn't it, themselves, and how they feel in the clothes and how they. So I think it's, you know, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, I think it's a shame that all women like. It's all almost like we've got one stereotype, and like people just want to be that one stereotype instead of thinking, look, we're all individually different. I think a lot of, I mean, it's changed. I think it's changed slightly. I think it used to be skinny. I think now it's evolving to be sort of like, you know, voluptuous, big bum, you know, big lips, and which is beautiful if you're naturally like that. Amazing, embrace it. But like, I feel like it's a bit scary for young girls if they're constantly looking at one type of woman and thinking they have to be like that.
That's the thing. I mean, I get quite offended when people say, you know, if someone's size 12 plus, they're a proper woman. I think what makes you a woman, is what's inside, because that's offensive to someone who's naturally very petite and skinny. They think, well, I'm never going to be a size 12 with a voluptuous body. And I think the point we need to make is, what makes you a woman is what's inside and the values you live by every day. It's got nothing to do with on the scale.
Women. And seeing other women's beauty, you know, that I think that's
other women and being happy with what you are. And
we're our own worst enemy, aren't we?
We are. We all do it, and we all look at magazines. We all, you know, the media.
And one thing I've done since, I mean, Jasmine's 5 now. And like, I used to love the grass, used to buy magazines, but she got to a certain age and I thought, you know what, really do I want Jasmine growing up with these unrealistic images? And I don't buy them.
No, I totally
try.
agree.
No, you can't get, you know, obviously there's televisions on and there's a certain amount of media that you're always going to be open to, but I just don't buy them. And it's...
Don't you find, though, the biggest people that bring women down are other women?
Yeah.
And we're all sisters. And yet we're there, standing there, look at her, look at this. We've just said about, you know, Madonna. We're the first ones say, oh, she shouldn't be doing this, she should be doing that, she should be behaving like this.
Most of the time, men don't even care,
Men don't care, but as you say, we should be complimenting each other and giving each other a boost and confidence.
Absolutely,
and we're all individuals at the end of the day, aren't we? You know,
goddess power.
Yes, we love that, goddess power. Okay, join us after the break for more 52%. Welcome back to 52%. Now, have you ever fancied doing something totally different? There are so many sports out there that are completely off the wall. And one of the up-and-coming sports in the UK is an import from the States, roller derby, which is a full-on contact sport. Gail met the Wirral Whippetiers to find out what roller derby is all about.
I'm here today at the Liso Recreation Centre with Nikki Anderson, who's part of the team of the Wirral Whippetiers Roller Derby. Can you tell us a little bit about this sport?
Yeah, roller derby is a feisty, fun and action-packed game that is played on quad skates, roller skates, and we play it here on the Wirral at Liso. We are the Wirral Whippetiers.
Can anyone skate? Can anyone do it?
Yeah, that's the cool thing about roller derby. Anyone, any size, any shape, any age, as long as you're over 18, because it's a full contact sport, you can get some skates on, get some pads and get stuck in.
Okay, but it's a little bit like fighting, I don't know, it's a contact sport, right?
It's full contact sport, so yeah, you need to be padded up, you need to have protection. The aim of the game is that you have 4 teammates on track, and yourself. This person will be the point scorer or the jammer, and then the other team field the same. So you'll have 2 point scorers, and then you'll have a pack of skaters here made up of opposing members of each team. And the aim of the game is to get around the track as many times as you can. So you get a point every time you pass somebody from the other team, but the other team are going to try and stop you. So they're going to block you, they're going to get in your way, they're going to hit you, they're going to stop you, obviously legally, but that's where all the contact comes in.
Okay, and when did that team start?
We just celebrated our 4th birthday, so really proud to have got 4 years. Our A team are now part of the Women's British Championships, and the men's team are part of the Men's British Championships, so this is a big year for us. Something
Original as well about this sport is that you all have a particular name. What is yours?
Yeah, so my derby name is Marla Slinger.
Marla Slinger.
So we have a fresh meat program or a freshies program, which is where we recruit people of any age, any ability. We teach them how to be safe on their skates, and then we teach them the basic skills for roller derby. Once they've passed those minimum skills, they're allowed to take on a roller derby name, which is a name that you can use to describe your alter ego on the track. So something feisty, something fun.
So now I'm with Sarah, Sam and Joya, who are the vice captain and captains of the team. How long have you been performing?
I've been playing for about 3.5 years now, so I joined the team when it was very early on, but
I'm just over my year now.
Yeah, same, just over the year.
Okay, and so what kind of skills does it need to?
Oh, so many. Skating skills really help. Endurance, quick feet, teamwork is really important.
Mental game as well.
Yeah, it's a really tough, it's a full contact sport, so it's really tough. So you get knocked down, and you have to get back up, and you get knocked down again a lot. So yeah, having a tough mind is.
Okay, and is it just like women, or are you like?
We have a men's team as well, and we play co-ed, but I prefer playing with the girls.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Why is it so different?
It's a different game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's a different game. Men are very up top, and they kind of have maybe an ego, whereas women are kind of, we're much more strategic, and there's some sort of, I don't know.
They rely on their physicality too much, I think, whereas we have to rely on everything. Like, we can be, I'm not the strongest, but we've got some really strong girls, and they can take out the men. It's not all about strength, but I think you're right. We have to rely on everything.
I've read that it's like a do-it-yourself ethics sport. What does this mean?
It's run for the skater, by the skater. It's WFTDA is like the people that kind of invented the sport and run the sport as a whole. We're not actually affiliated, but we run basically our game to their rules and everything. And the whole ethos is for the skater, by the skater.
And I think there's a whole aspect to that. I think that in terms of, because it is for the skater, it allows you then to grow within yourself, within a team, and it isn't just about the sport, it's about who you are as a person, and I think that's really, really valuable, and you're invested and people invest in you.
Okay, and so what made you start the sport?
I saw a game, I was on holiday in Chicago, and I saw the Executioners play Chicago, and I was like, I need to play that sport. And my friend Anna Luladoom, she told me that she was joining, so I just joined with her.
My best friend Danny Stormborn's the captain of the team, and I tried to get in the first time, but I just couldn't commit to it fully. And then I came and watched they had a birthday bout, which is like a game, so I came and watched that, and I just knew that I had to do it, and ever since then I've not. It sounds really cheesy, but honestly, it's the best decision, and I'm just gutted that I didn't start it sooner.
I hate that I'm 32 and did this song.
Hey, listen, you're not 38, love.
How much fun does roller derby look? I am dying to have a go at that. We love the bit, didn't we, about the names that they've got.
What would your name be?
I'm going to go for Jump and Jen. I reckon my tactic's going to be just to jump over everyone.
I'd have to be Lob It Lisa.
Lob It Lisa.
What would you be?
I think I'd have to be Hayley Holler. I'd just be zooming around, just getting stuck in.
No one's catching Hayley Holler. What about you, Estelle?
I think I'd be Shakti Style, and I'd just keep it all zen, and hopefully everyone would just disperse. Yeah.
It doesn't look, to be fair, that sport looks anything but zen.
They look hot, the women though. They look very. I love the lipstick and the tattoos.
The tattoo and the lipsticks. What a contrast. What a contradiction.
They still look feminine,
brilliant.
Don't they? They still look really feminine.
All have the lovely long hair and the little aggressive looking headwear, but the hair's down, they've got
Oh yeah,
the lippy
it's amazing,
on. They're just
isn't it?
rocking it.
I love that though. It's like going back to your childhood, a sport like that, isn't it? We all got so excited watching that, didn't we? Like we want to
I'd love to get my big roller boots on and get in there.
I think that's a key about getting involved in sports, is maybe thinking when you're a kid, you just love to have fun, don't you? And a lot of the time, I feel like going to the gym, it seems very like mundane and
like a chore,
boring, and you look at something like that and you can keep just as fit with that as you probably could going for
and there's
going
no
for a
fear,
jog.
is there, when they're young as well? They'll try anything.
Should we do more sports like that?
We should be, yeah.
Don't you ever do the ice skating at Christmas at Liverpool 1? I'm awful.
Oh, I'm
I held on to the side.
Are you one of them?
Yeah, I can't move.
Once you've gone round a few times, it like
and you get your
Let
balance.
go.
Yeah.
So you're right about the fear. When they're kids, there's just no fear. When you get to our age, you think, oh, what if I slice my fingers? What if I break my nose? What if I lose my teeth?
Whereas kids think, oh, I'll fall, I'll just jump back up.
My mum will fix it.
But even as children now, like I worry because when I do yoga bears, and some of the children have never, most of them have, but you get some of them who haven't like gone into wheel. You know, when you do like wheel pose, like when you're children, you just naturally like walk down the wall and stuff. But they say they can't do it in school because it's like health and safety, and you know, so I think sometimes that aspect of freedom of being children, you know, there's a lot of health and safety issues where probably
when we were younger, that's what we, you know, playtime and things like that. You know, you weren't on your phone. We didn't have phones and things like that. So.
I don't think I ever walked down a wall though.
No, really? Oh, I did. I loved that.
Handstands, cartwheels, things like that.
But that's something totally different, and I just completely
that would work out everywhere, wouldn't it, for you? You know,
and people of all ages were doing it as well, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It didn't look aggressive, like even though it was contact, it didn't look. Maybe it's because the faces of the women didn't look aggressive.
No, not like, because we were saying you all have a preconception of rugby, don't you? You already kind of conjure up an image of like mud and getting horribly dirty and getting thrown around everywhere.
Well, that just looked like being active and having a bit of fun, didn't it? You know,
and it's something you've got no kind of judgment on as well, which makes a difference. I imagine.
Definitely, definitely.
Because even
so maybe
yoga
I should
now,
try rugby before I comment on it.
We're all judging rugby, aren't we? We don't know.
Rugby on rollers.
What was that? What was
with
that?
rollers in?
No, on roller skates. Yes, Scousify.
Now that you actually, She get involved then, absolutely. But no, brilliant that women can get involved. That they were all different ages, they were all different sizes. Because I think you sometimes think, to go and get involved in a sports team, you have to be fit. Whereas they've shown, and it makes a difference.
Which is
you don't want to go.
Yeah, definitely. It gives you that confidence, doesn't it, as well, to think, no, I'll give it a go. You know, there's all different ages, different sizes, and I think we might have to give that a go.
People say, I'm going to try this when I've lost weight or when and it's like, no, that's what you do to lose weight.
And then they go to the gym. It's like,
The two should go together. Fitness rather than food, that is the key, I think. I think once you get the fitness, everything else comes. It just falls into place.
I suppose what you realise when other people are going there, they're not looking at you. They're there for themselves to get fit as well. Do you find that in the yoga? People?
Definitely. I think like a lot of the time, like we've got a lovely community at the studio, and everybody like supports each other. But also, you know the days when people just want to come in and just do their own yoga. Do you know? Because some days you don't really want to speak to anybody. It's not that you're being rude, it's not that, but you just need to go inside yourself. So I think it's a great opportunity for them to go inside themselves, but it's also like it's nice for them to connect with other people and for them to say, oh, this happens to me, and sometimes we drink more water and this, or don't do this, and it's like it helps, doesn't it? That people support each other, and rather than looking at each other, but supporting each other.
Well, that's the thing, because you do feel quite judged. I suppose if I was to go to rugby, I'd probably feel like, oh no, I look like a little frail girl next to these, and you'd feel kind of out of place.
A bit intimidated, wouldn't you?
It's intimidating because it's such a full-on contact sport.
Do you think that puts some women off getting into sports?
I think it does,
I'd rather play football than rugby. I think it's the whole carrying a ball, running a ball, potentially getting dragged, thrown on the floor.
It's so physical, isn't it? It's a bit scary, isn't it, in a way, that's the way their outlook would be, whereas with football, you know, it's a bit of fun and it's exercise, you're running around, and there's not that much physical contact, is there, if you don't want there to be. Whereas rugby is full on, isn't it? You know?
Absolutely, it is, yes. Well, we're going to be trying roller derby anyway, aren't we? I'm going to give it a go. Lisa's not sure. Okay, join us after the break when we will be trying. Lisa is up for this one. We're going to be trying some yoga moves taught to us by lovely Estelle. So see you after the break.
Welcome back.
As you can see, we've now moved over because we've been talking about all the different ways we can keep fit as women. So Estelle from Bikram Yoga is obviously here, so she's going to now teach us a few moves, and we're all ready, aren't we, in our yoga gear? So Estelle, come on, you're the expert.
Ready to get zen? Let's go. Okay, so we're going to start off with a half moon.
Okay.
Okay, so inhale, arms up. Okay, interlock the fingers, release the index fingers, cross the thumbs and lengthen up to the skies. Okay, we're going to align the hips, the heart and the head, lengthen up, and then just upper body back slightly. And then we're going to lengthen our spine from either side. So we're going to be beautiful half moons. Keep breathing in, keep breathing out.
You be your worst student.
Stretching up and stretching over. Okay, then we're going to lengthen a little bit more up to the skies. Release our hands and we're just going to come down to the floor, lengthening down. And we're going to lengthen our bodies. And we're going to take a hold of our toes So we're getting your peace fingers.
Yeah.
So make your peace fingers and lengthen the body down, taking the elbows out. And then we're just going to walk our hands forward here and come into a downward dog. Okay, so we want to be like an inverted V, pressing your hands into the floor, your heels down, lifting the hips up high to the sky. Keep drawing the belly in, lengthening up. And then we're going to step the right foot forward. Okay, we're going to take a little lunge here. Okay, opening up through the hips. Yeah. How long can we stay here for, ladies?
Come on,
So we're going to go deep. So we want to work the
move,
left. We're going to want the left foot a little bit further back. Gorgeous. Open up our heart to the sky. And we can even interlock our fingers behind us and really lift up through our hearts.
That's a stretch.
Gorgeous. I'm going to fall. Looking like goddesses, ladies. I love it.
Oh, I've been a goddess.
Okay, and now for our special goddess pose, we're going to walk our right foot a little bit further forward. And we're going to come down to the split.
Oh, no, we're not.
Amazing. You can do it. And then we're going to get our zen completed by placing our hands in front of our heart centre. Gorgeous. Okay, and your favourite pose was tree?
Kind of.
Okay, so we're going to take it back up to tree. So we're going to gradually go coming up the opposite way we went in. Okay, going back into our downward dog, stepping the right foot back. And then walking our hands back to centre, taking our hands to our heart centre, coming back up, and we're going to do tree on the right side now.
Okay.
Okay, so taking the right heel up to the top of the thigh. So this is a Bikram tree. Okay, so we're going to do like a half lotus here. And then we're going to take our hands back into our heart centre. Let's see if we can lengthen our arms up.
I think we're quite good, aren't we?
Gorgeous balance.
Not me. Oh, Hayley, you're doing great. Not that I'm the teacher, but yeah, you're doing great. I wouldn't have a clue.
Bringing your hands back down.
Oh, my leg's falling.
Gorgeous. And then releasing the leg back down to the floor.
Well done, Lisa.
Okay, we're going to do it all on the left side now. Inhale, arms up to the sky, interlock the fingers, release the index fingers, taking it to the left and to the right. So you're going to know what to do now. Lengthening up and over. Lengthen our arms to the sky. Inhale, exhale as we go down, lengthen. And this time we can walk our hands under our feet.
Oh, wow.
And lengthen our bodies down. Practice, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And then we're going to gradually walk our hands forward into a downward dog. And all come to Bikram Yoga next week, of course.
We will be there.
Lifting the hips up. Great Crossall Street.
So it's in the city centre, isn't it?
In the city centre, yeah. So it's
How
not
many
far
classes
from
a day
here
do you
at
have?
all. For today on a Tuesday, we have about 5 classes, hot and non-hot.
Okay.
Okay, you're not getting out of this that easily, so let's put stuff forward. Don't be distracting the yoga teacher. So we're coming back into our goddess pose for our lunge.
I like this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hands in front of our heart centre. And then we're going to interlock our fingers behind us again and create that backward bend. Lift our hearts to the sky.
Oh, yes.
That feels nice.
And then ready to go deeper into our goddess pose. Lengthen our leg forward.
I can't do this again.
I'm not so
Gorgeous.
good on
You'll
the
always
left
find
side.
that you want one side over the other is a bit more open.
Yeah, both mine are done.
To just keep lengthening. And then centre the energy back into
I can't
our
take my
heart
hands away.
space.
There we go.
Gorgeous. And then taking our fingertips to the floor and coming out the opposite way we went in. So back into our downward dog.
Perfect.
Hips are high. Walk our hands to our feet, hands in front of our heart centre. Coming back up. And are we done?
Yes.
Amazing.
I feel really good.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Estelle, but I'm a little bit worked out now, so should we go and have a little sit down on the sofa?
Love that.
I can tell.
Who'd have thought we'd be presenting a show sat like this.
Oh, this is the first time I've ever sat on TV with my legs like this, and I have to say I absolutely love it.
It's very calming.
Yeah, I feel them out.
It is
Thanks, Estelle.
You're doing really well. What have you got your books in for next week?
Yes, yeah, we'll be there. Look at you, brilliant. Estelle, anyway, how did you get into yoga? Because you're fantastic. So where does your story start?
To be honest with you, I used to just, when I was about 17, like as most young girls, like started going to the gym and stuff, and then there was yoga classes on there, and it just went from there. But at first, I didn't like the slow pace of it. I just went because, you know, it was like a relaxing class. And then I got deeper into it. And when I was having my children, I thought to myself, I want to teach this.
Yeah.
And then I found Bikram. And that just came a whole new entity. And obviously the studio came, then Shakti Studios, the aerial.
Well, before the studio came though, you went over to LA, I believe, didn't you?
Yeah. So actually, my friend time hopped me today, because she just said goodbye to us, and she said, I'll see you in 9 weeks. So that was exactly 4 years ago today, which is insane.
So you were there for 9 weeks?
9 weeks, yeah. Me, my mum, and the 2 kids, and Michael. He came over once or twice while we were there as well. So it was just fantastic.
Training in yoga.
Training, yeah. So I was obviously, it's done in like a big hotel in LA. It's actually moved to Thailand now. So it used to be, it was an intense, like you used to be there for like 8 o'clock to do the class. Then you'd do your studies all day. Then you do another class at 6. And then I'd go home, see the kids, come back, and then you'd have like an evening of lectures as well.
Wow.
It's very intense training, yeah. But it's like completely like, you know, it's mad. Like you didn't even know what's going on in the news. You didn't know. Like it's like you immerse yourself.
You're in the
like
yoga
completely
bubble.
in it, yeah.
Why LA?
Because that's where Bikram lives.
Okay, so what's Bikram?
Bikram is actually a man. So Bikram, who's devised the yoga, he lives in LA now. He's very, he's quite westernised now. He is originally from India.
Okay.
So he's very westernised now, and that's why he's created a yoga for Westerners really, and that's when it's evolved from there. So I think it's introduced a lot of people, like we were talking before, who wouldn't necessarily tried yoga, but he's drawn them towards it. And then obviously then they've gone to, you know, other paths of yoga, Iyengar, Hatha, aerial yoga.
Yeah, because you do so much at your studios, don't you? What different types do you do?
Well, I try and do as much, because I like to practice all yogas, you know, all yoga is one, and I love to practice them all. So I try and get as much going on at the studio as I can. At the minute, we've got Ashtanga, Shivananda, Hatha, aerial yoga. I've also devised my own sequence, which has evolved, which is amazing, with my friend Carly-Ann. People are loving that. That's 60 minutes, and it's a bit of everything. We also do yin yoga, which is amazing. It's really slow-paced. So you stay in your postures for like up to, you know, 3 to 4 minutes, sometimes longer. And you just like completely, it's blissed out. And your hips open, your spine.
Does yoga have its own language, you know, because all the poses are called different names? Yeah, and this Namaste. What does that mean?
Namaste means when you are at one with yourself and I am at one with myself, we are at one with each other, which I think is just, you know, it's a beautiful thing, because we are all one, you know.
It's so true, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
So I think, but it's good that you asked that, because a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, we just all say it, don't we? We don't actually understand it, but thank you very much. It was absolutely brilliant. Loved it. But Hayley, we're going to have a chat to you about what you do, because you're a football agent, and we do want to know, is it intimidating working around so many men?
A lot of people ask me this question, Jenny, and I think because I'm from a sporting background, my dad was heavily involved in football, scouting and coaching, so it seems normal and natural for me, and to be accepted as a woman in the game is a big thing to me, and that doesn't happen overnight. And I'm still learning. I'm still very, you know, appreciate all the help and advice of experienced, you know, people in football, but getting out there and doing a lot of the groundwork and proving as a female that you can identify a player, that you do understand the game, that the players can relate to you and the parents.
Yeah. What is your job role as such? What do you have to do on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, I'm out and about scouting at games. We've got meetings on. Weekends, it's just full-on games at academies, and some grassroots football, but mainly academies. I attend games there. So it's not a glamorous job. You're out in all weathers.
I know, she looks amazing.
I know. She must turn up and they'll be like, wow.
But if you want to be involved in this game, and you do, in a way, you have to become one of the lads.
Yeah.
You have to talk in their language. You do. And, you know, I've got a lot of friends in football now, male friends. I've got really good contacts, Premier League managers, coaches and scouts. And again, a lot of that you know, came from my dad. You know, after losing my dad, different opportunities came about. And now I've taken on another role, if you like.
And I'm sure people respect it because you understand what you're talking about, don't you? And they've got to respect that.
Well, I think matter what your gender is if you understand. Yeah.
Well, I think if you're bringing quality to these clubs, players, then, you know, obviously it's about proving yourself and proving you can identify the players. But once you start showing that and you're bringing quality to them, these clubs, as long as they're getting those good players and quality, then they're happy.
Yes.
And that's then obviously giving me recognition and giving me, and as I said, being accepted it's a big thing, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And the players that I represent at the moment, I manage the youth players, and I think building up a relationship with those and with the parents is essential.
Yes.
And I'm really enjoying it, to be honest.
Obviously, absolutely fantastic what you do, and that is why they respect you. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. To Hayley O'Brien, and of course to Estelle as well, for showing us some fantastic yoga. It's been brilliant.
I need to lie down.
Get all that down.
Yeah, we will. Of course, we will. Okay, see you next time. We're going to be talking about women in politics.